Sing it. What? We right here. We ain't going anywhere. We right here. South Florida Ave back in this thing. We right here. I think this about week 14. We right here. What up, Mick?
Vic, what's good?
Chilling, bro. What's going on with you?
I'm chilling. I'd like to introduce our very special guest on this special edition of South Florida Ave. We have Reign's own West Rec Allstar team, first team, intramural
second team though.
UF captain of the intramurals. We have the Realist, Reggie, A.K.A. Baggs. What's happening, Reggie?
You forgot
Reggie,
all-time leading assist. All-time leading assist leader. You forgot to throw that out there. What's up, man? Y'all boys, man.
Several accolades.
What up, man? Welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, man, we're going to get right into this like we normally do. We're going to be chopping it up about the NFL season. A lot of exciting games that went on this week. We're going to jump right into it. We got some things that we told you. We got some things that we hit on. We got some things that we missed on. Let's start off with the biggest game of the week. We can't start the show off on any other football game other than Bills, Cowboys. Reggie, you're the guest. What you thought about the game?
Well, I thought that Buffalo switched their game plan up. You saw they ran for over 200 yards, which is not what they typically do. Not sure if that threw the Cowboys off balance. Probably not expecting that. Probably did not game plan for that. And we saw what happened. I don't know if I think they might have planted probably once or twice during the game. I'm not sure, but they just pretty much dominated the game, dominated the time of possessions. The run could not be stopped. James Cook went off, and Cowboys might have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, that is not something that I would find surprising at this moment in time. We are still talking about them boys, and we don't know which boys we talk about, whether it's them boys that we talk about every year that's like a disappointment, or them boys who are supposed to be the truth this year. We really don't know. It's still to be determined. Late in the year, the Cowboys, I mean, we talked about this already, right? Not too many times will you see one team in one season go from barbecue to mildew in one season, and we really don't know where the Cowboys at. So still to be determined. But we talked about this last week. The Buffalo Bills had to have this game. Yeah. Let me finish though. The Buffalo Bills had to get this game. The Buffalo Bills had to win this game, and they obviously game planned around it. So I guess we can't find it too surprising that they actually took away a W. Go ahead, Jab.
And I want to preface this by saying I am not in any shape, form, or fashion a Cowboy fan at all. Some might say I'm a Cowboy hater. With that being said, prior to this game in my football group chat, I was telling guys the only two teams pretty much in the entire NFL that I see being able to beat the Cowboys are obviously the 49ers. And the second team was the Buffalo Bills. And the reason I stated the Bills, I felt the Bills would be able to just pretty much keep scoring with the Cowboys. I did not expect them to stop the Cowboys the way they did. So I would not consider this Cowboy team the same Cowboy team that we get every year where you know they're going to flop in the playoffs. Because if some kind of way they can avoid the 49ers, I think they can make it to the Super Bowl.
Mick, what you guys say about that?
Wow, what a bold take. That's what I want to hear, Reggie. That's what I'm talking about. We bring the guest on the show. This man telling us that the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl?
No,
is that what I did?
No,
ain't that what you just said? Ain't that what you?
I said.
What you just said?
Kind of sound like you said that.
Nope. I said if some kind of way they can avoid the 49ers, I think the Cowboys can make it to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl because I know they will not beat the 49ers in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But if some kind of way another team beats the 49ers and they don't have to play them, I don't see any other team in the NFC beating them in the playoffs.
Really? Wow. That's still a,
talk to me.
Oh, that's
let me hear who you think can.
I mean, I would have to say their division rival, the team that beat them last year. team that was in the Super Bowl last year. What I would have to say is Philadelphia Eagles would probably still be the team to beat the Cowboys if it was another team outside of the 49ers to face them in the playoffs.
Now,
Having
based on the last time they played and based
Hold
on how
on.
the Eagles look now, you still stand by that?
Hold on. Well, I do still stand by that. I do.
Okay.
I just feel like the Eagles have the Cowboys number. Also, I think not only the Eagles, but I also feel like if it was Detroit, it would be the same scenario. I feel like Detroit is capable of beating the Cowboys. I feel like honestly, at this point, with the team that we saw on Sunday, every other team in the playoffs could probably beat the Cowboys. I don't know what I'm getting when I'm dealing with the Cowboys. I don't know what Dak Prescott's going to do for me. I don't know what team I'm getting when I'm looking at these guys. It's the same old Cowboys. I'm so disappointed in the outcome of Sunday because the game was so nostalgic looking. Even though Buffalo wasn't in their traditional uniforms, I still love seeing the Cowboys and the Bills playing the game. I wanted it to be a competitive game, and it wasn't. It was a letdown like the Cowboys normally do when you're expecting them to do something great. It's the same old Cowboys. So until they do something different, bro, they them boys. They them boys that lose.
And on that note, before we go too far down that rabbit hole, as you guys can see right now on South Florida Ave Week 14, we already got a heated debate and we just logged on. But for those who might not have paying attention so far, let me remind you guys of where we're at. If you're a real football fan, then this would be the season for you to actually tune in, because let me give you guys a recap of where we're at. As we stand right now, 15 weeks in, we have the Miami Dolphins at the head of their division right now, along with the Chiefs, who are still fighting with the Broncos, out of all teams, to hold down their division. The Broncos are an emerging team. They're winning games now. All of a sudden, they went from mildew-ish to, are they cooking yet? I don't know. Bro likes to cook with gas. I don't know. I think they're still using charcoal right now, but we will see. In the meantime, don't look now, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting at the top of their division for the first time in a surprisingly, well, I guess it's not too surprising. Sorry, Jeff. We know you're a Jacksonville fan. Oh, by the way, we haven't introduced that
last year, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyways, they are sitting at the top of the division, but guess what? They're not alone up there. The Colts are hot on their tail, as well as the Houston Texans.
Yep.
This is a division we thought that Jacksonville will have locked up at the beginning of the year, but Houston ain't playing, and neither are the Colts. So it's going to still be interesting as we talk about the NFC. We do still have the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Lions. What? Did I say the Lions? That is correct. Lions sitting at the top of their divisions. And realistically, when we talk about the NFC, there's not many teams who are completely out of the topic right now, except for the Cardinals and the Panthers. And believe it or not, even the Chicago Bears are still alive. So before we move on, I would just like to also add that I think Reggie or Jap, we're going with Jap, that the Dolphins will have a lot to say about teams who can't beat the Cowboys right now, because they're about to face off next week, and the Cowboys should be shaking in the cowboy boots, if you ask me. What you guys think?
Reggie, go. You the guest.
And just to confirm, I'm speaking on Dallas versus the Dolphins.
Go for it.
Where's the game? Miami or Dallas?
The game is in Miami.
It's in Miami.
Florida.
I'll take the Dolphins because it's a home game for the Dolphins.
Okay.
On the neutral field, if they played 10 times, I think the Cowboys will win 6.5.
That sounds like a Cowboy fan comment, if you ask me, but we're going to move on.
Man, you sure you're not a Cowboy fan? You sound like
I'm not. I just watched football and I watched all the games.
Yeah.
I can tell you why I feel that way.
Okay.
And the reason I feel that way is because the Cowboys do have a pretty good pass rush with Michael Parsons. Mm-hmm. Miami is a quick read, quick throw offense, but it appears to me once you take that first read away from Tua, he then is deer in headlights and doesn't know what to do. And the next thing you know, you got Parsons right there. I also feel that Dak will be able to consistently drive on Miami's defense. I don't feel they have a strong defense that will be able to stop the Cowboys. So ultimately, I feel that if they were to play, I feel like Dallas would probably win like a 3 to 4 point victory. Wow. But I do think they're playing Miami. I'm taking Miami.
They are playing in Miami, and that's a fact.
Well, I'll say that the Dolphins will win that game.
In the meantime, let's talk about last week real quick. Mick, you called it out last week. You actually put me onto how close every game or every team in the NFL is right now as far as potentially going to the playoffs. The Raiders showed up against the Chargers, but they didn't just show up. They showed up and they showed out. Y'all got anything to say about that?
If you don't mind, I'll jump on this one. Listen, I looked up in the third quarter and did a double take because I don't remember ever seeing that score in an NFL game. So I knew it was pretty bad once it was like 60-something points. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't ever remember that happening. That's all.
We had a score like that this year when Denver played Miami.
Oh yeah, 70 points. But you know what it was? It was just so that game was competitive, and this game wasn't.
And just to confirm, the 70-point game by Denver was competitive.
Oof. I don't know. I think
Denver was competitive.
He's kind of been on the Bronco bandwagon this year. So
they were competitive in that game. Go back and watch that game. You need to go back and watch that game. No, bro. I'm telling you, like people were trying to defend the players. Like people were actually trying to play defense. In the Raiders and Chargers game, it looked like the Chargers gave up. It was totally different efforts, bro. I'm telling you, go back and watch the Denver Miami game, and you watch the Chargers and the Raiders game. Efforts are totally different between the Broncos and the Chargers, bro. Those are two different teams giving two different levels of effort. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
it was terrible.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Jap on this one. I don't know what your level of effort is if you're giving up 70 points and getting dusted in the second quarter.
Both
effort or not,
trash,
bro.
But at least it looked better.
Do no effort in sport, score more points.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna
less points.
Score that game because I don't really remember.
It was 70-14. While you're looking that up, the Colts went ahead and took 70-20. The Colts went ahead and took care of the Steelers last week. And again, we talked about this division. The Colts are looking pretty strong. The Steelers were looking pretty good. Hey, man, we've been trying to talk about, knocking the Steelers off their pedestal all year long, and they still have been in the hunt. They're still in the hunt fighting for their life. So it was a really competitive game. Speaking of competitive, both teams kind of fighting for their playoff life, and the Colts took that one home. That one's going to be still interesting to watch. These Saints took home a W against them Giants that you was talking about, bro. And speaking of the Giants, I'm going to jump over. I'm going to just throw some stuff at you guys. You get in where you fit in. You get in where you fit in. You comment where you want to comment, but I'm going to throw you some prefaces first. The Saints beat up on those Giants with their new quarterback. We needed that W. We took it home. And those same Giants might have something to say about it.
You speaking French? You a Saints fan?
He a Saints fan. You didn't know?
100%.
I did not know.
Now you know.
Don't speak French up here. But don't say we. Okay.
You're a Saints fan.
We are speaking French. It's called Who Dat?
And wait, just for the record, again, Reggie, who's your team? Just so we know. I mean, I'm making claims here, obvious right now with myself. So again, who's Jags? Okay, we're all okay. Gotcha. So we're on the record.
Thank you for throwing that out for the record. The Buccaneers took care of the Packers, which I'm not very happy about. But standing at the top of the division right now, congratulations to the Buccaneers. How you felt about that game, bro?
Come on, man. You know I had an excellent Sunday, bro. Come on. Sunday was lit. First of all, perfect passer rating ever. Visiting quarterback, Lambeau Field. Come on, man. You finna get off.
You signing this guy next year?
Oh yeah, Baker's sticking around. Baker's sticking around for a minute now. He done earned a little more value, a little bit more time here in Tampa for sure with that performance.
I can agree with that statement.
That's fair.
Listen, I'm happy as can be right now. We still have a tough road ahead. We still got to see you guys later on down the road. I know for a fact.
Can't wait.
It's going to be exciting. Finish to the division, but yeah, I'm excited about where we're standing. I like our position. I like where we're at.
Huge game for us coming up this week.
We'll see. Yep.
But y'all should lose this week.
And to make it even better, the Panthers actually took care of the Falcons, which is going to help us out dramatically and drastically. Thank you, Panthers, for showing up. In the meantime, the Dolphins destroyed the Jets competitively. Just gonna leave that one there. The Lions.
Got joke. Whatever.
The Lions. Browns. Lions. Browns. Did they play the Browns?
No, the Lions beat up on Denver.
Denver.
And that's why when
sorry,
Mel was saying Denver is looking good, or I'm like, did you not just watch the game last weekend?
No. First of all, wait a minute. First of all, wait a minute. I was talking about how Denver looked more competitive versus Miami in that loss than the Chargers looked in the Raiders loss. That being said, yes, Denver just got their lunch handed to them by the Lions, who I have been big on all season. That's my little grit team. So, yeah, it was an interesting game, but the Lions showed everybody what time it was. Jared Goff. Wow.
Oh no, man! Don't start Jared Goffing now, bro. It's way too early to be Jared Goffing. You know, from 1 week he could be Jared Goff, and the next week he could be Jared.
I thought y'all was going to co-sign in it.
Nah, heck no. No.
I thought you was co-signing. Ain't nobody say that. Okay. Like, wow, balling out.
There's no way. So back to the we were having a conversation offline about relevant games realistically, but I mean, hey, the Bengals just beat the Vikings. I don't know, bro. We talked about this. Jap, let me get your opinion on this too. The Bengals, we don't know where they're at right now. Earlier in the season, they were barbecue. The next couple weeks, they went mildew. Then now, are they back to barbecue right now? Where are their Bengals? Now, listen, we know that for the record, they're not leading their division, but are they back to being barbecue, even with no quarterback? What's your take on that?
Well, the backup quarterback they have playing is playing pretty well. However, they just lost Jamar Chase, probably for at least the next 2 games. And being that he is the best player on their team, that may probably sink their ship. But overall, considering losing Joe Burrow, I think they played pretty well in his absence. The defense.
With that being said, they actually have the Steelers this week too. Now that we're talking about it, so no Jamar Chase. They're facing a Steelers team in their division. How do you think?
I think the Steelers are the worst team in that division, though.
Interesting.
And I said this prior to the season that the Steelers will finish 4th in the division. And this is once again when Cleveland had Chubb and Watson. Obviously, the Bengals had Burrow and Chase. But even with them losing those star players, the Steelers still seem to be the worst team in the division. I mean, I know they lost the QB, but in my opinion, Trubisky and Pickett, I don't see a big drop off there.
Yeah.
Now they're going to Mason Rudolph. Now they're going to the 3rd quarterback.
Listen, Mike Tomlin's always been able to make sugar out of crap. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is just the year that this is kind of catching up with him. But, for Kenny Pickett to be your starting quarterback and George Pickens to be your starting wide receiver, like, he's working with less than. Like, let's be honest.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of talk about they need to just go ahead and start over and pretty much can Mike Tomlin and just do a rebuild. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, no, that's foolishness. I would never say that. That's crazy talk. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. So for you to even consider to get rid of Mike Tomlin at this point, that's crazy talk. Mike Tomlin is not the problem.
Can I say something on that? Can I say something on that? Because you said something that everyone always says. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. Now, when you get some Steelers fans who are accustomed to winning, they're accustomed to Super Bowls, think they have 6. Their take on that is, okay, who cares? He doesn't have a losing season. But we're not playing to not have a losing season. We want to win Super Bowls. And they don't feel that he right now is the guy who can get them there.
No, and I can respect that. I can respect that feeling. I can respect the feeling of we kind of just feel like we're spinning our wheels now. Like, yeah, you got us to a Super Bowl before, but you don't look like you in no hurry to get us to a Super Bowl no time soon. So what are you doing? And that's fine. And if that's how the fan base feels in Pittsburgh, I say you should get rid of Mike Tomlin. I think there will be 29 other teams happy to take a look at Mike Tomlin to come and coach their team. So do what you need to do in Pittsburgh, but you're going to miss out on a great coach. Somebody else is going to be really happy with Mike Tomlin. So that's what they want to do. They should do that, but it'll just make another organization very happy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. There's 28 other teams right now who could probably have the same sentiments about their head coaches right now and their run back to the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, working with the talent that Mike Tomlin clearly is being hindered by on his team, it's hard to say that he's not doing a fantastic job as a head coach. And yeah, I mean, I'll take him down to New Orleans, and you should probably take him down in Jacksonville too, though, Jap. I mean, but y'all doing pretty good right now, so we're gonna leave y'all alone. But you still ain't got no Super Bowl. Okay, see, there you go. So it's a universal sign that you're either Super Bowl
I'll take
or
him.
I don't like our coach for a different reason. Not for the reason
I don't like I like our coach for a different reason too. But I'll take him in Tampa. Put Mike Tomlin down in Tampa. I'll take him. What you talking about? Shoot, y'all tripping. Please.
Let me ask you guys about this. Yeah. Here's where we're at right now. At the end of the day, last week we talked about this game. It kind of snuck up in there, and then it kind of went on full blast on Monday night because the Seattle Seahawks, who are not out of this thing just yet, can easily beat the 49ers on any given night if you ask the right people. Again, we talk about that. We're asking about the right people, Jack. Calm down. Talk about asking the right people. They can beat the 49ers on any given night. They just beat the Eagles. Hey, man, I'm sorry, okay? Just relax. It's okay. Just accept it, okay? Ask the right people. They might be able to beat the 49ers on any given night. And while you get surprised by that statement, they just beat the Eagles, who if the Seahawks can't beat the 49ers on any given night, the Eagles can, but they just beat the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you guys think about that? Are the Seattle Seahawks potentially starting to cook with some gas over there? What you think? Are the Eagles
first say? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Mildewy? Are they getting a little mildewy?
I want to let him finish.
Go for it.
I want to first say the Seattle Seahawks cannot beat the 49ers. They played twice already this year, and the games were not close. That's one thing. You mentioned being that 49ers beat the Eagles, and then Seahawks also beat them. But those two games were not comparable. The 49ers dominated the Eagles. The Seahawks won on an awesome pass from Drew Lock to Jackson Smith-Njigba. So those two games were totally different. Now, you ask, are the Seahawks starting to cook or are the Eagles starting to fail? I don't remember the end part of your question.
Both. Two different questions.
Seahawks, here's what I'll say. Based on the talent they have on their team, I think they're playing pretty good. Some might say overachieving. They have solid receivers, solid running back. With Geno Smith, he's solid. He's not the star. The Eagles defense is just not what it was last year, and they relied a lot on that defense, and also with Hurts being more mobile and running the ball, he doesn't play the same way he played last year. And I think being that the defense is not putting him in positions where he can just has to protect the lead. And now he has to actually go out and win games, which we have seen him do. I mean, we know he can't do that. But I just think the team overall is not performing what we were accustomed to seeing. And now, I mean, we're seeing what they really are. I mean, they got a lucky win or two with the Kansas City, with the drop by MVS. And I felt like Buffalo let one slip away. And I think after that, they lost, 4 in a row? What is it?
Mm-hmm. 4.
49ers, Cowboys, Seattle. Who else? I don't remember. Was it another team that beat them? 3 in a row?
Oh, I don't know. I think they picked up a W in the meantime.
3 in a row. It was 3 in a row. They beat the Commanders. They came back and beat the Commanders.
Yeah.
The Commanders at the beginning of that. Yep. 3. They lost 3 in a row.
I don't remember them playing the Commanders recently.
Didn't the Eagles play the Commanders before?
I'm gonna look right now. All right, so the Eagles have the last 3 games they have lost: San Fran, Dallas, and Seattle. Before that were the 2 games that I referenced was them winning by the skin of their teeth, which was Kansas City and Buffalo. And the game before that, they had a bye was Dallas when they barely won when Dak stepped out of bounds on the 2-point conversion.
Right.
So that's kind of like 3 very close games, and they lost 3 in a row.
Mildew?
No, they're still, I would say, top 3 in the NFC.
We shall see. It is still to be determined because those are some unfavorable statistics that you just throw at
Those
at
are
us
also
if you
some
ask
tough
me.
teams, though. I mean, Josh Allen, Mahomes, the 49ers, and Dallas, that's 4 good teams.
So then you are throwing the Seattle Seahawks in a tough team category.
I'm not considering Seattle a tough team at all.
Moving on. This week, we have some tasty games on the menu right now. Because, again, these are all – hey, man, everyone's fighting for their playoff lives at this point in time. I want to touch on some games that we don't really have to talk about too much, but I think they're worth mentioning for the sake of playoff contention. You have the Bills going out to L.A. to face off against the Chargers, who are quarterback-less and just got their destroyed. We know this. Seems like a shoe-in, but got to be feeling really good if you're a Buffalo Bill right now because you really can't lose no more, right, Vic? I mean, they take another L right now. It's gone fishing. So it's going to be interesting to see them if they're even going to play a good game or if they just kind of go to sleep against the Chargers. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that or not. Feel free if you do. But outside of that, the Lions are also and jump in when you want to playing the Vikings this week. NFC North matchup. Lions cooking with gas. Can't take their foot off of the gas right now. Vikings, they ain't asleep yet. They really, 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 really need this game. Wild card team, gonna be very, 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 very interesting. However, what are they down to their 3rd quarterback at this point in time? I don't even know.
Nick Mullins is now the quarterback.
Didn't look good last week. Looked like hot trash.
They lost.
It's
Did
competitive.
they lose like on a field goal or something? Or
Yeah,
like
they lost on a field goal. It's a very competitive game. Nick Mullins is doing his thing.
We shall see.
That's why
That'll be interesting.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because if the Vikings win that game, I don't know. The Lions are over there cruising, thinking they got the division, kind of under wraps, but the Vikings is right behind them. And if the Vikings were to win that game, the Lions could be in trouble. So, I don't know. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I like the Lions.
Speaking of Jared Goff, perfect game to see which one's gonna show up, Jared Goff or Jared Off. Okay. Very, very interesting times. Hey, man, I'm just saying. Outside of that, when we're talking about more interesting games, hey, man, the Colts are playing the Falcons. And I'm going to ask both of you guys on this one because I really want to know. Now, remember where we're at. The Falcons are desperate right now. They had the division under wraps, and then they just fell apart. The Colts are trying to get their division under wraps. They think they might be the team to beat in their division right now. Who you got in this game? Colts, Falcons, Mick, who you got?
I'm going to take the Colts. I think the Falcons are reeling. That game last week was devastating loss. They're trying to stay competitive with Tampa in the division, and Tampa just took that lead. And for the Falcons to lose that game last week, I feel like they don't know what they're doing. And I feel like the Colts, there's kind of the opposite of that. The Colts are on a roll. Jonathan Taylor knows what he wants to do. He wants to run that ball, and I feel like Atlanta's going to be susceptible to that run. So I got the Colts all day. I think Atlanta's on a spiral.
All right, Jep, you know the question. Falcons, Colts, who you got?
I'm going to take the Colts, but for different reasons than Mel. The Falcons are being hindered by their coach. I know, like in the fantasy football world, they all hate him because of his usage of Kyle Pitts and now Bijan Robinson. But outside of that, when you look at the talent on their team, with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. Those are like three very talented individuals. Bijan is a very dynamic player, and he is being very underutilized. You see them doing reverse sweeps with their tight end Jonnu Smith and Cordero Patterson, and in the backfield with Bijan lead blocking. And I think they have a lot of wasted possessions. And then it gets to the end of the game, and you try to depend on Desmond Ritter, and you get what you got last game when he threw that terrible interception in the red zone, which is very uncalled for. And I think that the team is lost faith in the coach, and Gardner Minshew is kind of on fire right now. I know you referenced Jonathan Taylor, but he hasn't even been playing. They've been running Zach Moss and maybe another player. Taylor might be back this week, but he had some type of wrist surgery or hand surgery or something like that. But if I were to take those two teams, I would think the Colts going forward would be the better team.
All right. It's 2 for the Colts. We're gonna see how this record shapes up when it's all said and done. Because hey, the Falcons might decide to show up this week. The Saints are facing off against the Rams. Not much you got. I'm not even gonna ask you guys to touch on that too much. Just important to me. That's important to me because you know what I'm saying.
So let's hear your take on that one.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, hey, listen, my take on it. I'm glad you asked me. Realistically speaking, huge game for us. The Rams are no punks. We really got to have this game. We can't play around. We kind of have to have the best game that we played of the season right now. And this is our opportunity to do it. We're going out to LA to actually play against the Rams, who they're kind of tough at home. So I don't know what Rams team is going to show up, and I don't know what Saints team is going to show up. But I tell you what, we can't afford to lose, because what I do want to ask you guys about is that the Bucks are facing off against the Jags, and either one of these teams can win this game, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to ask you, gentlemen, for this particular game in Jacksonville, who you got?
Duh.
I think the Jags are going to win that one because of them losing 3 in a row, and they're desperate. They need to win. I don't think the Bucks have a great defense. I think Trevor Lawrence will probably throw for over 300 yards in that particular game. The Jags have a fast defense. I think that will give Baker Mayfield some problems. I do not see anyone on the Jags stopping Mike Evans, so he may get off and have a good game. But I see that probably being a high-scoring game that's going to go in favor of the Jags.
Mick, we know who you got.
Yeah, that's good analysis.
Let me get your analyst.
No, that's good analysis. I like it. We are weak on defense. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Everyone knows it. If you're going against the Bucks, then your best strategy should be try to throw the ball, not run the ball. But for some reason, they know they like to try to run Trevor Etienne, and they like to try to run Trevor Lawrence, and they're going to try to do that on Sunday. And when they do that, it's going to be a problem. So that's going to put Trevor Lawrence in a situation where he's going to have to throw the ball. So Trevor Lawrence is going to show us something. Yeah, let me finish making my point.
Oh, my bad.
Trevor Lawrence is going to have to show us something on Sunday. That's kind of what I've been wanting to see. I mean, I've been kind of seeing this running gun offense a little bit. I've been seeing this little 5-yard out, 5-yard, 10-yard out. I'm going to throw it deep to Ridley every now and again, maybe 2 or 3 balls deep to Ridley. But outside of that, we've been controlling the game. We've been, here you go, Etienne. Oh, Etienne, here you go. I'm going to dump it off to you. Well, guess what? Sunday, you ain't going to be able to do that. All that stuff is going to be played out, Trevor Lawrence. So you just got your lunch handed to you on Sunday by the Ravens. So don't get your lunch handed to you again on Sunday by this Bucks defense, because we will eat your lunch. So I feel like what's going to happen is he's going to be forced to throw the ball. Trevor Lawrence is either going to grow up or he's going to shut up. And I think we're going to shut him up on Sunday. That's what I think.
This is where we're at for the moment. I love it. All right. I love the takes. I'm very curious to see how this game's going to play out now. I'm ready to see whose game plan is going to be in effect and who's predicting they squad correctly. That's going to be very interesting. Great week for
just so I'm clear though. Just so I'm clear real quick though. Just so I'm clear, you know y'all gonna get drug on Sunday, right? Just so I'm clear on what
are you basing this on, bro?
I'm talking to Vic. I'm talking to not you, Reggie. I'm talking to Victor now. You know.
Oh yes, I agree with that. Yeah, the Saints will get.
Totally gonna get drugged, dog. You gonna get drugged. The Rams are gonna run over y'all boys. No way to stop the Rams, bro.
You won't be able to stop.
It's over. We might have a problem, but
First
you
of
finna
all-
have a bigger problem on Sunday. Trust me.
First of all, I ain't asked for no feedback from either one of y'all.
I know you didn't ask for it. I
So
noticed
I don't know why we
that.
talk
You
about
asked
this
us
game
our
right now.
feedback about our teams, but you ain't want our opinion on your team. Like, what kind of mess is that? Like, we noticed that you skipped over our opinion on your team. We ain't gonna let you do that.
Man, it's
You
first
tried
of
it.
all, I hate to be the one to tell it to you, because if you ask me who I got for Sunday, I got them Jags getting up in the Buccaneers, who think they hot, they cooking with gas right now. But they game playing
What they
last
got
week
to
pretty
do?
well. They game playing well last week. They ain't gonna game plan this week. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are gonna step on their throats as they should and teach them who run in Florida. And in the meantime, my Saints are gonna know what time it is. Go get this W, Jameis Winston style, and we're gonna be at the top of the division. So y'all need to calm down, both of y'all.
First of all, Miami runs the state. Let's get that clear. It ain't the Jags or the Bucs.
Yeah, whatever. That's
Miami
true
runs
story.
the state. Let's be clear about that. What else you got?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a great transition, because this week, we already mentioned it, the Cowboys are taking on the Dolphins in Miami. And I already threw it out there. I think I know who Jap got. I don't know if you want to change that up right now.
Jeff a low
If the
key
game's
Cowboys
good, I
fan.
got Miami.
He got
Jeff
Miami.
a low key Cowboys fan. Yeah, he
Not
went
at
on the
all,
record.
trust
I'm
me.
glad he cleared it up.
I'm just
glad he cleared
saying,
it up.
I'm confused.
He did,
I don't
like,
know.
honestly, bro. Like honestly, like if we would have ended the show right now, you would think we would have been like, you'd have got off saying Reggie, a Cowboys fan, huh? Like I'm just glad he cleared it up.
100%.
It kind of sound Cowboys fanish to me, but
All
Well,
right, yeah,
we're
I
talking
agree. I mean,
football. I'm giving my analysis on what I see and what I feel will happen.
okay.
If that
You feel like
happens,
the Cowboys
to
going to
be
the Super Bowl?
Cowboys winning the game. No, I see y'all keep twisting my words. I said the Cowboys can some way avoid San Francisco. I don't see any
Hey,
other
bro.
team in the NFC who will beat them. I think they'll go to the Super Bowl.
Bro, they're
All
going to
I
avoid
hear
San
is
Francisco because
Cowboys
they
to
might not
Super
make it
Bowl.
to the playoffs. So they're definitely going to avoid San Francisco. They ain't going to have a chance to play them boys again. So
That's wild.
You don't believe that.
That's
You don't
wild.
believe the
Hold
Cowboys
on, bro.
gonna miss the
You don't
playoffs.
mean that either. You don't mean that. You don't mean Cowboys going. You think the Cowboys gonna miss the playoffs?
No, but my question, I'm going to answer a question with a question. Do you think the Cowboys going to make it past week 1 of the playoffs?
Well, they can
Things that
win the
make you go
division
home.
now that Philly lost, correct? I don't know how that works.
No,
That is
Reggie,
correct.
they can. They can win the division, and that's what I'm afraid of. Personally, that's what I'm afraid of because we got a history. When I say we, I mean the Bucks. We got a history of losing to the Cowboys in the playoffs. We do. If you're a Bucks fan, you know this. You know that if we play the Cowboys in the playoffs, we tend to lose to the Cowboys. And the way this is shaping up, it looks like we're probably going to end up having to play the Cowboys. So I'm terrified about that because we don't play them well in the playoffs. And that's probably what the scenario is going to be. So it would be the perfect scenario for Dallas to avoid the 49ers. If the 49ers were to play someone else, Dallas played the Bucks, got the win, 49ers lose, Reggie can get his wish. Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, in the
I want the
meantime,
49ers
while y'all doing all that, while y'all doing all that Christmas wishing and dreaming, the reality of the matter is that the Giants are still in that division, and they ain't out of it just yet. So we gotta hold on. Whoa, wait a second. We got a sliding Eagles team. We got an emerging Giants team,
Bro.
and we got a Cowboy team that's about to take another L on Sunday.
You
So the
realize
question
the Eagles
is,
have the Giants twice. Those are 2 wins for the Eagles and 2 losses for the Giants.
Yeah, that's true.
Giants
This is going to be wrapped up. It's a wrap, bro. Giants are a wrap.
so Giants Eagles this Sunday. You guys think the Eagles? I'm assuming you're gonna predict the Eagles are taking this W.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Hands
That's a
down.
wash.
All right. Let's talk about some interesting football then, like the Browns taking on the Texans. And I would
Is
need
CJ
to know
Stroud back? Is CJ Stroud back? That's what I need to know.
I don't know.
that. I don't know.
Barely won that
They
game
won
last week
Stroud.
without him.
No Stroud, no W.
Barely
That's
won it
what you're
without
saying.
him. No, I'm not saying
Who
that
are they
because they
playing
won
again?
last week. They didn't have him.
Who they playing?
Browns, Texans.
I don't think they're
Browns
going to
ain't. Browns don't
Browns have
have
a good defense.
Yeah. Neither
Browns
one of these
have a
guys are
very
playing
good
with
defense.
potentially starting quarterbacks. So who you
Flacco.
got? Like I
Flacco's
said.
not been trash.
So I need you to go on record and tell me who you got.
Huh.
Where's the game?
I need to know if CJ Stroud's playing, bro.
In Houston.
No CJ Stroud, no W. No CJ Stroud, no W, bro. No CJ Stroud, no W.
I'm going to roll with the Browns.
He said the Browns. You're going Browns.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
No
I mean,
CJ,
they've been
no
looking
W.
good. They've been looking real good. They've been looking real strong.
They've been looking real good.
Still in it. They still fighting for their division.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see no reason why to go against it. Let me throw this curveball at you because I also want to know who you got on this one. I need you guys to really take the time to think about this. This weekend, the Raiders are now playing the Chiefs. What do you think about that?
Do we need to think?
Do we?
That's an auto response. Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm not even going to think about it either. I'm not going to worry about it. I love what Antonio Pierce is doing with the Raiders as a whole. I mean, again, we were just talking about him blowing out the Chargers.
Did the Raiders just beat the Chiefs, or was that
the Raiders just beat the Chargers? You know, we were talking about the blowout.
I know that, but did the Raiders?
Oh wait, the first time they played.
That I cannot
remember if they won or not.
I can tell you that the Raiders are cooking right now.
The Raiders are looking good.
I'm looking right now.
And the Chiefs are, well, we know what they're going through right now.
Good.
They got more drama than one of Taylor Swift's songs right now. So I don't know what Chiefs teams is going to show up. Granted,
Chiefs won 31-17 the last time they played.
31-17.
That was a long time ago, though, and those were two completely different teams. I don't even think Antonio Pierce was the head coach at that time. And he didn't. The team that's playing for him now is not necessarily the team that were playing for their last coach at that time. In the meantime,
the Chiefs are looking bad.
The Chiefs are looking really bad. The only caveat,
Tony,
the only thing that could be working against the Raiders right now potentially is the fact that it's in Kansas City. And what's the temperature up there right now? I don't know.
Cold. It's gonna be cold.
Probably gonna be cold out there.
Yeah. Advantage.
All right.
Sure.
Last one of the week. And I need to know who you got because it's actually one that no matter who's talking about this conversation or having this conversation right now, it's a relevant conversation. Ravens, Niners, potential Super Bowl contention, facing off this weekend. Huge game for both of them. And the question is, in San Francisco, before you even ask, Jap, and the question is, who you got?
All right. Now, this game is something I'm monitoring and I've been paying attention to because Lamar Jackson is my fantasy football quarterback. I'm in the playoffs and they're playing 49ers. And I'm thinking, do I bench Lamar Jackson against the 49ers? They have a great defense.
That's a tough one.
Tops in the league. However, you hear a lot of chatter about this Brock Purdy MVP stuff. And I know Lamar Jackson hears it. I know he, in the back of his head, he's saying, I'm the damn MVP, not no damn Brock Purdy. And I think he's going to come out and ball. Now, but here's my football take on this. I grew up a 49er fan, and I probably watched all of their games. 49ers, they get pressure with just their front four, which is why the defense is so good. They don't really have to blitz. However, they struggle against running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks. I feel that if Lamar Jackson does Lamar Jackson, meaning he doesn't try to sit in the pocket and throw the ball, if he actually runs a la Vic doing the Green Bay game in the playoffs way back in the day, I think the Ravens can win. If the Ravens try to play offense where Lamar sits in the pocket, just tries to pass, I don't see them winning. And it's not because he's not capable of doing that. I just personally don't feel like the Ravens have these great receivers that will overcome the 49ers offense. I think they will have to depend too much on Lamar Jackson and the game being at home. So with that being said, I think the 49ers will win the game.
They can afford an L right now, the Ravens that is, or both teams. But Mick, who you got?
Yeah, that's good stuff by Reggie. I like that. I'm gonna also take the 49ers, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna take the 49ers, because I feel like this game is gonna come down to the 49ers offense versus the Baltimore Ravens defense. And when I look at those two on paper, I'm going to always go with the 49ers offense. I feel like they're just too athletic. I feel like they're going to be too fast. I feel like Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of Ayuk's name, but I was just saying the weapons on the 49ers are it's a plethora. So I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Lamar's going to have a good game. He's going to have a pretty decent game. But I feel like the 49ers defense is going to kind of corral him for the most part. And I feel like that 49ers offense is just going to be unstoppable. So I got the 49ers. I got 49ers big.
Big? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are going to win this game.
Based on what?
Just Lamar Jackson being who he is. I think he knows, how important this game is. And the Ravens have realistically been dominating every team that they played this year. And they got to make sure that the 49ers know that they're no different. Defensively, I do think they're going to struggle. But, proper game planning on defense, they should be okay. But I feel like Lamar is going to be unstoppable. And, hey, man, there's only one Jordan Mahomes in the league. But if there's a Pippen, that's Lamar Jackson. That's what I got to say about that.
You think Lamar is the second best QB in the league?
Yeah. 100%.
Over Josh Allen?
Yeah, 100%. You should too.
And why should I? Just curious.
Because the same reason that nobody else thought Lamar Jackson was who Lamar Jackson is. Lamar Jackson hasn't changed since he's been playing at Louisville. Lamar Jackson hasn't changed since he was the Heisman Trophy winner and the 31st pick in the NFL and the MVP. He hasn't changed. He is still that dude. Josh Allen has a lot more weapons around him to work with, and we know this. And Lamar Jackson is just a better quarterback. We act as if, we don't act as if, because I think everybody here representing South Florida Ave knows better. We act as if Lamar Jackson is actually not a quarterback, but the man can throw. The man is a pocket passer. Does that.
And I have this argument with my friends all the time, even just last weekend. I said, anyone who says Lamar Jackson is not a pocket passer, you're not watching football. Because he is truly indeed a pocket passer. Yeah. I agree with you 1,000%.
Exactly. No, so he does it all, and he does it easily. And that's just about it. Like I said, give him Stephon Diggs, and I don't know if they're not repeating or three-peating at this point in time. So let's not forget he lost all of his weapons. He has no running back. They've been hurt forever.
Andrew stays hurt, and he stays when
his weapons are trashily hurt. They're all on IR.
He's tough.
And their defense
lost him a game. His receivers did the game against Pittsburgh.
Exactly, and their defense is also hurt and not even up to par as far as talent wise. So, come on, man. That's what I got to say about
Lamar's
that.
The man. Lamar's the man. He's the better man. He's the better player, but the 49ers is the better team, and you're going to see that on Sunday.
Yeah, we're about to wrap this thing up, but before we go, I think we'd be remiss if we don't touch on this. Soon we will have the college football playoffs. And by what I've heard, just on this call alone, what I've heard is, our man Jap, our special guest, we could call him, I don't even know what we're going to call him at this point. We could call him like Two-Face. I don't know. He just said he grew up a San Francisco fan, but he's a closet Cowboy fan. He's a University of Florida graduate, and he's also a closet Florida State fan. To my knowledge,
I told you just
it ain't closet.
It ain't closet, bro. It's
closet,
never
bro.
been closet. I'm walking around Turlington with my FSU shirt on, bro. FSU stickers on my door. It's never been closet FSU. It's
That's
always been
some
live,
weird stuff.
front and center, bro.
Oh my gosh, so I'm assuming how harassed you got by that, but nevertheless, before I digress, I would be remiss not to ask you. So, since you are a out of the closet Florida State fan, that is, how do you feel about the football playoffs, the college football playoffs right now? Give me
In
your
regards
take.
to Florida State not being admitted.
Clearly and obviously.
All right. Well, here's what I'll say. This is me being a Florida State fan who's watched every game. Even when we struggled versus UF, just from seeing how we looked in the 11 games prior to that, to going to how we looked at UF, I'm like, oh my God, this team shouldn't be in the playoffs at all. We won the game. We then played Louisville, and we looked worse, or as my mom would say, worser. And as a frustrated fan, I'm saying to myself, hell no, do not put this team to the playoffs. They don't deserve it. Now that was an emotional take. Now that I'm kind of reeled in, here's how I feel. Do I personally feel they're one of the 4 best teams? No, not at all. Do I feel they should have been allowed to be in the playoffs? Yes. And the reason I say that is because when you have a new quarterback all of a sudden being thrust into this starting role, you kind of have to expect them to struggle. But from the time of that game up until New Year's Eve when the playoffs start, or New Year's Day when the playoffs start, there's a lot of practice time to kind of catch up and get acclimated to the whole system, the plays, all of those things. And the QB may look totally different by then. However, we won't get to see that. He'll never get that opportunity. So overall, I don't feel like they were one of the top 4 teams, but I do feel like they deserve to make it.
Agreed. I mean, we talked about this too, and I said the same exact thing, Jap. You know, if it wasn't for backup quarterbacks getting their opportunity, we wouldn't actually know about Tua at this moment in time. It only took him one game to put himself on the map, and that happened to be in the national championship game. Why are we taking that opportunity away from Florida State and their quarterback as well? So I completely agree. Definitely should be there.
Yeah.
What else you got, Mick?
FSU got snubbed, bro. I'm gonna give the same sentiments. I'm a graduate. I'm a UF graduate. I'm a proud UF graduate, unlike my friend here. But Florida State, you got robbed. I'm gonna say that until the end of time. Like, they should be allowed to play in the championship game, and they took that away from them. That wasn't right. So I would hate for that to be us and that happen to us. So yeah, not right, Florida State. That ain't right. That's all I got, bro.
Some bold predictions going on this week. We're going to see how Reggie's picks shape up, including those Cowboys.
Y'all invite me back.
Woo!
Oh, you gonna be back,
Yeah,
Reggie?
I mean,
we got to get you back on talking
I mean,
all this mess. Yeah, you got to be back.
We got to troll all those picks after they come out, 100%. So no, we're gonna make you stand on those, 100%.
Hold on. And this wasn't done on purpose. It just happened to be what it is. It just happened to be what it is, buddy. So it ain't no cause.
Hey, I got one question. Y'all like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. But my last question to Jap. So do you got a Cowboys sweater on up under that too? I'm just curious. I mean,
any Cowboy
realistically,
clothing at all.
Realistically, you just might. So
whatever. That ain't what I heard.
Yeah, we're gonna let you claim that. All right, man. Y'all boys hold it down. Y'all have a great time. And make sure you check out these Saints. Get up in them.
Come on, man.
Rams tomorrow night. Who that?
Come on, man.
South Poland Ave. We out.
Peace. All right, man. Take care, bro. I'll let you play.